How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the 12 Man podcast. I just want to start off with saying thanks for the continued support from everyone. We really appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and get involved in the comments and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to kick things off with, I'm going to come to you first, Sam. Is Jose Mourinho finished in the Premier League?
No, I think 100% no. I think his resume, I know people are going to say he hasn't done much but in the last few years, but like his last job before Spurs was United, and some United fans are still Jose men and others aren't, like yourself kind of now. But he he got United the second with a very questionable team, won the Europa, and now with Spurs he hasn't. Don't get me wrong, last I'd say month and a bit have been very tough, like really, really tough to watch, and we're kind of at a standstill at the minute in which direction we're going as a team. But I'd personally, I'd give him the end of the season because there've been rumours going around that Levy might sack him, but I don't think Levy will. I think Levy's in awe of him. So I think leave him end of the season. He picks up a trophy, gets us. If he picks up a trophy and gets us top four, that's an unbelievable season. And I just think he's too smart to go out of style. I think the way he plays, and I guarantee what's happening with Spurs right now won't last until the end of the season, purely because Jose understands the game too well, and his mental side of the game is just ridiculous. So I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a weird one, Mourinho, all right, because obviously like his CV speaks for itself. Like successful with every team he's worked with in all the different countries. Like you just look at him though, like he's nearly 20 years of management now. Obviously starting off at Porto, won the Champions League with them, arguably his greatest achievement so far as manager. Then came into the Premier League with Chelsea and then had a nice little few runs at Inter Milan, won the Champions League there as well, then with Madrid.
Yeah.
And kind of like ever since he came back from Madrid, back into England with Chelsea, or now he won the league with Chelsea in 2014 or 2015. And then, but it was just like he came back as a different man, I thought. He wasn't that young, like eager, out there in the media person. He's kind of just dialed it back a bit and just doesn't seem the same. Like, of course he won the league, which is great, but I just feel like even with him at United, I don't know, just something has changed with him, and I don't know like whether he just hasn't adapted to the way the Premier League has gone, or just that's the way he is. He's never going to change. Like his style of football is always questioned, but like, you can't really question that too much when it has been successful. But I don't know if at the minute it's looking like it could be the end of the road with him in the Premier League.
Well, like, I was just thinking, like, looking back, like, over the past 3 or 4 years, that since United, and he went on he's working with Sky Sports and stuff, he wasn't in the Premier League. Like, has he had a good spell? I know he went to Spurs at the very start of the season, they're top of the league in the world, but has he had a really good spell in the Premier League in the past 3 or 4 years?
Well, like with Spurs or with United, like, because
both.
Well, he got United the second in the Premier League with that.
But like
squad.
when he got the second, we were still like 20 odd points off City that year.
But he won the Europa League, which is as well. Like,
it was still
yeah, but like that's like look at City now. Like that, you're 20 points off City. Not like that's just purely to do with the standards that City have set. Like still finishing second in the league with the team. If you look at the team that United had, the team that he got to second place with, you can't say it's not an achievement.
But what was wrong with that team that he had?
Could end up with 20 points behind City this year.
United, I suppose.
United, yeah. United.
I'd be shocked if it's that, to be honest. I'd be shocked.
What's it at the minute if they win their game? 10?
10, yeah, but I don't see it getting any further than that.
You're halfway there. Like.
I think like everyone likes to speak about that Mourinho season where he got us a second, but he still had a very good team. He still had Pogba, he still had Lukaku, still had Martial,
barely played Pogba though.
Still had Matic, Herrera, who else did he have in defence? He had Small and Bailey. I know they weren't like whatever,
good at the
they were
time.
still decent players at the time. Like so, I don't really think he can use that season where he got us a second, still miles off top spot, as like a success. Like
he said, it's his biggest success in management.
Yeah, Mourinho says a lot of things though.
Playing up to the meat.
Yeah,
like me personally, like I'm a big Mourinho fan. I think like the style. I don't always agree with the style of football he plays, and for me, it's frustrating because the talent Spurs have, especially up top, like Kane, is one of the best strikers in the world. Son, we all know what he can do. I just think, like, not to relate them to sort of Leeds, but like the way Leeds just whatever they have, they just go and attack and attack and attack. And I know, yeah, obviously that's gonna come with leaking goals and stuff, and Spurs have a problem defensively, but I'd like to see them play the attacking football that you used to see a bit more with Poch, you know.
See, but everyone does say that, and all well and good, but we didn't win anything with Poch. That's what I think people who aren't Spurs don't understand.
Okay.
Like,
No,
I'm the biggest Poch man this side of Liffey, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but do you not think you could have won something with Poch if you had to just strengthen the defense a bit more? Maybe
no,
got one or two big,
by the time Poch
good
left,
centre backs in.
the players had given up nearly. Like, we were in a horrible way. Like, the players.
Yeah, no.
But
like, say a new manager came in and got the strength in defence and continued, not the exact same style of play, but continued pushing, attacking with a much stronger defence, not leaking as many goals.
Well, if you're saying to me, like, after Poch went, who did I want in? Mourinho, I wanted in.
No.
Purely because I thought he's going to win. He's a born winner, like, you know.
No.
Do you think Spurs have progressed since Poch has left? Like,
I'd say we're at the same, to be honest. I wouldn't say we've gone up or down. I'd say the style isn't as nice or whatever to watch from the neutral perspective, like where we used to be. Like, we used to be great to watch, unbelievable free-flowing football now, but I think Jose's come in, and I'm telling you, if Jose gets a decent end run the season, gets us the thing, boys, 2 players maybe in defence, I'm telling you, we'll be top quality. I think that's all we're lacking.
I don't think he's done the Premier League, but I don't think that Spurs have progressed really under him. And I do think if Spurs don't win against City in the Carabao Cup and they don't get top 4, that's a very bad season.
I'd say he'll sack him then.
Yeah,
it's ruthless. Yeah, he'll sack him.
I think top 4 is crucial.
And then if we sacked him, I'd go Leipzig manager then. You know what I mean? But it's Mourinho. I don't think he's finished. I think he'll.
Just in the
I think he just has
not like overall. Like I still think he can go to any other country and be successful.
No, I think he'll win another Premier League in his career.
I can't see it happening, because after Spurs, it's just
Spurs next year. Watch.
Well,
it's the hardest league to win. You have to remember that. It's not like you're going over to the German league or to the Italian or Spanish league where there's 3 teams,
3 clubs,
like, you know what I mean? Like, look at this season. Obviously, okay, now in the last month or so, City have kicked on a lot, but the standard compared to last season, like, it's so high. There's so, like, top 4, like, there's 7 teams to battling for top 4, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's very difficult to win a Premier League. I know people, you know, it's thrown around that you could be finishing the Premier League, but you have to realise how difficult it is to win it, even if you have the right players there. And at the moment, it doesn't have the right players there.
Your squad, like, it's not a bad squad. Like, it's easily up there with one of the best in the league. And
just defensively.
Personally, looking from the outside, I would think nothing less than top 4. Like, at least top 4, if not pushing for the title with that squad, with that manager. You would expect to.
That squad at the minute pushing for the title.
I don't know about that, man. Like, if they lose,
like, maybe not pushing for the title, but definitely up there. They should be
top 4. Yeah, top 4
definitely. With Mourinho,
top 4, yeah.
I don't see like there's clearly
they don't have the
clicking, like. And
just
they don't have the squad depth.
I don't think it's Mourinho. Just don't think he has adapted to the way the Premier League has changed over the last few years.
What would you rather win, the Carabao Cup or get top 4?
Oh, Cup. Hands down. Yeah, come on, man. We haven't won a trophy in 12 years, something like that. I think any fan would say that.
It's not like it's even the Champions League or Europa League. It's probably the worst cup that you could win.
Still a
Cup's a cup. Yeah. If Liverpool won it, people would say it's a great win. No, you know what I mean? So, but to answer your question again, Carlo, I'd say no. I don't think Jose is done in the Prem.
Yeah, no, like, 100% is a good discussion to talk about. Everyone watching, get involved in the comments and let us know what you think. Right, so moving on from to another London club, Arsenal. They had a great win against Leeds at the weekend, and the standout player again was Saka. So my question to you is Saka the best youngster in the league at the minute? I'm going to come to you first, Shane.
Yeah, like he's definitely up there. I've spoken very highly of him since he's been since the start of the season. Really, I think he's up there. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's what does he have now? 5 goals, I think, for Arsenal. He's not playing in a strong Arsenal team. I think, to be honest, other than City and Liverpool, I think he starts for every other club in the league. I don't know if you agree there.
Start for Tottenham. Can't see him starting for Chelsea.
I'd start maybe it's Chelsea as well. I'd start him over Bergwijn, to be honest.
No.
Oh, I wouldn't at the minute myself.
No, I wouldn't.
Reason for
And especially because he's a gunner as well.
Well, that's another reason, yeah. But yeah, no, to answer the question, I think he's definitely up there in contention with the best youngster in the league.
Who would you put ahead of him?
To be honest, at the moment, Phil Foden. I think he's the best in the league, but I think Saka it's a good discussion as well. I think he's a very good young player with a lot of potential. So, but for me,
I'd go.
Saka though. Sorry, Sam. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
With Saka, what I would be worried about is the amount of different positions he has played in since he came into the Arsenal team. Like you see him play left back, left wing, right back, literally every position. So especially for like a young lad to progress and grow into a position, they need to be consistently playing in that one position. So that will be a worry for me with Saka. But again, there's no doubt that the talent is there, the eagerness is there. Even like he speaks well in interviews, like he has all the all the credentials to be a top talent. It's just whether or not the manager uses him correctly and his attitude is correct.
Sorry, go
on, Adam.
I would like to see him get a few more goals. Like, I think he's only 4 or 5 goals this season, but he has been in a lot of goal involvements. But that could come down to the positions that he's playing. If he's playing left full compared to left wing, obviously left wing you'd expect him to get more goals. But I would like to see him progress and get more goals to compare him to Foden.
Yeah, I think everyone is playing for second place with youngsters because of Foden. Like, you know, I know he hasn't played so many games or anything, but as we've seen against Liverpool, like, sorry to bring it up, lads, but he is like different class. You know what I mean? But I do think up until Christmas, I thought Curtis Jones, he's been like quality, and I do think a lot of people sleep on him. Like, he's only a youngster as well. People, I think, forget about how young he actually is. And I do think he makes a difference when he plays for Liverpool. So I don't know.
He did have a good few. I think he started for 2 or 3 games in a row, and then he pulled him out of the team and started going with Milner. But I do agree, like, because we've had so much injuries and we don't have that squad depth in the moment, in fairness to him, he has made a lot of differences compared to Origi coming on. Like, we've seen against West Ham, he came on and got the assist for Salah. So, like, he has made... He's a goer, like he'll go at beat a player and create something when it's kind of dead. So yeah, I'd agree.
I remember in that first Spurs game when in Anfield where Firmino scored in the last minute, he was unbelievable that night. He was unbelievable, and that was the night I really took notice of him. Maybe just because he was against Spurs or whatever, but no, I took notice of him that night big time.
Yeah, see, like you see the thing with Foden, like no doubt is the best, if not one of the best. But like the thing with him is like. Obviously, he shone properly at the start when he won the Euros with the England under-17s. That's where he really made his name. And he didn't really get into the City team at the start. Obviously, it's a very tough team to break into, like with De Bruyne, David Silva, the other lads there at the time. Didn't really get his chance. Like Pep kind of eased them in. And then it's only been really the last probably 4 or 5 months where he has started to shine in that team in a world-class team where he doesn't look out of place. He looks right in there with the mix. But obviously, I'm going to have to bring up Mason Greenwood, like United player. And I think the credentials are there for him to be the best out of them 3. Because going back, like after, like even last season, I think he scored 18 goals in all competitions between the League, Europa League, League Cup, all the rest. But I just think Mason Greenwood is 100% in the argument.
Why don't you think he's done it this season? I think he has one goal in 18 games.
See, the thing, like, last season, like, you knew what a Mason Greenwood style of goal was. Out on the right, either cuts in on his left or cuts in on his right. From that right-hand side, that's where the majority of his goals came from. But then this season, he hasn't really been up to that standard. But I think it's because defenders know how to defend against him. So he's kind of at this stage in his career growing up where he has to adapt his game and find out other ways to beat defenders and score goals. And not to bring up any like negative things, but like there was that situation with his best mate who did die through suicide. So like chap's 19, like as much as he
takes
is
its toll.
a footballer, like he is human at the end of the day. And having to deal with your mate dying through suicide and in COVID times as well, like it's not easy to get back from that and continue the level that you are playing at. Like, so I do think you have to take that into consideration with Greenwood. But yeah,
he did get that contract there, didn't he?
Yeah, today he signed a new contract. Yeah, so hopefully this could be it. It's like, right, the last few months are behind you now.
Calm him down, maybe.
Yeah, like, last few months are behind you. New contract now. Let's kick on and hopefully he can win a cup for us this season.
Yeah, like it's without doubt that he has the, as you said, the credentials to go on and be top class, because once he gets anywhere in around the box, he can score left or right foot. He only needs like that half a yard, and I do think if he gets like his head together, as you said, he can push on and be something really, really special in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So lads, my next question to you is, out of those three players, who is most likely to go to the Euros with this England squad? Come to you first, Dano.
Well, I was just picking one.
Well, if you think 2 or 3 are going to go, like who do you think is going to be on the plane?
I don't think Jones will go. Not a hope, I don't think. I think there's too many in that position. You have Maddison and Grealish that are just miles ahead of him at this moment. But I say in a few years he'll definitely come. I think Foden's a certainty now. I think he offers that something that England doesn't have. I think he'd be good even if he doesn't start to bring out the bench, and maybe he might start. I think Foden's the only real certainty at the moment. I don't know who else will go. Maybe Saka, but I think Foden definitely, but I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Foden, at the way he's going now, if he keeps warm up, he's definitely on the plane. Then with Saka, I think just because of his versatility, that he can play in 1 or 2 positions, that
could bring him.
edge him.
Yeah.
The lads. But I do think with Greenwood as well, obviously a bit biased or whatever, but like I do think if he does go on a run of goal scoring form and is going towards the summer in top form, he could be on, because he did get into the England squad on the back of last season. So he obviously was in Southgate's plans, but obviously at the minute he's not in form, he's not scoring goals, so he can't really say now. But I do think if he does hit a bit of goal scoring form, then I wouldn't be surprised if he is in it.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just Foden. Like when you look at England's options attacking was, like, you know, obviously Kane up top, but then you have Rashford, Sterling, you have Harvey Barnes at the moment who's playing out of his skin. Foden,
Calvert-Lewin.
Like the talent there is unbelievable. Like there's going to be players that are going to be left behind would start for, I'd say, more than half the other countries that are going to be in the Euros. But for me, I think it's just I can only see Foden out of those young lads getting up there purely because of the talent that England have at the moment in other positions. So
yeah, I'd agree with Shane on that one. I'd say I can only see Foden going at the minute, but I think Saka is going to be like really on the edge. I think Greenwood, as you said, Carl, I think he needs to have an unbelievable end to the season if he wants to be considered. I don't think he's in the conversation for going to the Euros at the minute, just based on his form this season. But Saka, I'd say, is extremely close. And if he keeps up this way, he'd still, I think Saka will go if he keeps up this level.
Yeah, and especially because England like to play 3 at the back as well. So that left wing back position could be his if he keeps performing still. Because they don't really have a natural left wing back that can do that job.
They could have used James Justin off Leicester. He's ACL is very unfortunate. He's been again. He's another player that I've rated so highly this year. And again, his versatility as well. He can play right back, left back. It's just very unfortunate for him that he's after doing his knee in there.
That's what it is.
Yeah, lads. So sticking with Foden and City, do you think City can go on and win the Champions League? I'll start off. I think, especially like the form they're in now, like they're levels and levels above everyone in the Premier League, like without doubt. By this team, and then I think they have a handy enough draw this round against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So I think they'll breeze past them, and then if they can avoid a Bayern or like there's not really that many other good teams in the Champions League at the minute. Like, Bayern are the only real standout team. You can't really say Barca or Madrid, but if they
you could mention Atletico Madrid, like with the way they're
that's true.
performing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I feel if they can avoid a top team in the quarterfinals, there's no reason why they can't go on to win it. I think this might be their year, especially with De Bruyne and Aguero to come back in to that starting 11. Like, could you like literally get two better players to come back in to a team who's already miles better than everyone else in the league? What do you think on that one? Come to you first, Shane.
Like, yeah, I agree. Like, I think, can they win it? Absolutely. Will they win it? I don't know, because they've proven that they don't really have the bottle in the Champions League in the last couple of years. Like, their squad is as strong as ever this season, but they still are probably top 3 strongest squads in Europe for the last 2 years going as well. So I just don't know if they'll have the bottle when they do come up against the big teams. But at the moment, yeah, absolutely, they can win it with the way they're playing and with those players to come back 100%. Definitely, they could win the Champions League this year.
Yeah, I just think it's balls again, because like we seen them last year against Lyon in the semi-final, and they bottled it, like, and they've done the past few years. It's just that question mark. Obviously, they have the ability, and obviously, Pep's been there before. He's won Champions League, but he probably had arguably the best team ever, club team ever. So like, he'd be expected to win trophies, but I think there is question marks over him, especially past 4 or 5 years not winning it when they have been expected to win it. So it could be down to him as well. But to be honest, I would like to see them win it. I'm a big Pep fan, and I like the way they play football. So I would like to see them go do it.
I just think, as kind of similar to what you said, Carl, I think once they can avoid, I think they'll be too good for Atletico Madrid. I think once they can avoid Bayern up until semi-final, final, where it's like you only have to beat them once and then you're there nearly. You know, if they get them in the final, I think City do them in a one-off game. But I think if City end up getting Bayern, I can't see them getting through. But if they get a lucky draw, I think this year it's either City or Bayern to lose at this rate.
Yeah, but
the draw is just so important.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to get lucky as well. But the thing is to see as well, like, if you go back and look at what went wrong with them in the Champions League the last few years. So obviously last season, like, you couldn't really say that they were the most confident playing team last season when they were miles behind Liverpool. And then the year before, that was the season where them and Liverpool both got like over 90 points. So they were pushed to the limit that year.
Yeah.
And then the year before, I know they won the league by a bit, but still, like, they
were going for that 100 points, weren't they?
Yeah, like, I don't think they were ready yet, but if you look at them now, like, by the time it gets to the later stages of the Champions League, they'll have the Premier League wrapped up. So they want to really concentrate on that, so they can just put that full focus into the Champions League, and that's where
I still don't think they'll make top 4.
Yeah. That's where they're going to be dangerous, because like, their team flying in confidence. They have the Premier League wrapped up, like, and they haven't really been in that position when they're in the stage of the Champions League. There was always something going on, like being pushed by Liverpool, like 2 years in a row, really. And then obviously last season they weren't really playing their best. Whereas, like, you look at them now, they have the defence sort, they have the midfield sort, they have the strike force sort, they have the quality and depth.
Their squad depth is just
sick.
A joke, like,
literally, like,
you know what I mean? Like, if you the wingers they have, like Sterling, Mahrez doesn't barely get his game. Like, he's just a phenomenal player. Bernardo Silva, not a goal scorer, but he's
class.
Quality player. Like, Foden's in there as well. You know, they've added Fernan Torres, then they have Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Gundogan is the new De Bruyne while he's injured. Like, their squad depth is like their bench is ridiculous, and that's the thing. It's very difficult to get a squad depth like that without.
And they do have Fernandinho still in there. I know he's older, but like, if they need a bit of experience for the big games, he can definitely still do a job. You know, he's still unbelievable.
And I know they have the defence side, but he can also slot in centre back if
needs be.
Yeah. So.
And he gave him like Aguero, like, this is possibly his last season in a City shirt. So what a way! Like, he broke my heart times, especially in 2011. He broke my heart, but there's no like, imagine that his last City game, win the Champions League, to top off the great career he had.
Yeah.
I think if they don't win it this season, I'll be getting worried for them. Will they ever win it?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. But anyway, listen, thanks to everyone who was watching. We really appreciate the support. And just to let you know, we have a big announcement coming this Sunday. So stay tuned. And also to everyone who was getting involved in the comments on the team of the season post on Instagram, we really appreciate it. It was a bit of crack. It was good to see everyone having a go off each other. That's what we want for this page, just to create a bit of crack, a bit of a debate, and get people talking about the sport we all love to watch. But anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, the whole lot. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, lads.
Sound good.